Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Strange one today. We've got this Skoda Octavia 2018 plate, diesel, and as you can see it's charging at the moment 12.7 volts. Obviously not charging, and I don't even know how I'm going to explain this, but we've got a new alternator here to go in. So the customer, I'm gonna turn the engine off, and I'm gonna leave the lights on for a good 10 minutes, and I'm gonna leave the radio on for a good 10 minutes too. There we go. Right, so basically I had a call from the customer. I've done a few jobs for him in the past, like brakes and oil changes, and he asked me to change the starter motor because he was having a problem starting the car occasionally for the past week and a half. So anyway, I knew the car was an automatic, and I asked him, how did you start the car then when you couldn't? He said he just put a battery pack on it and it started. So I said, I don't think it's gonna be a starter motor, mate. And he said he went to a battery center that we have here. Pretty good guys, test the battery, test the alternator, all good at the time. So now I'm thinking, what the heck is going on with this car, right? Every time that he said he sits for about 10 minutes, not all the time, but obviously it's a taxi working throughout the day, let's say 10-hour shifts. It does happen 3 or 4 times. And sometimes it struggles to start after sitting for 10 minutes. Sometimes it just doesn't start, and then you use the battery pack. Now, ask him to come over, and as you could see there, the car wasn't charging. It was the same situation, 12.7 volts. And I said to him, look, it's not charging. I test the battery. At the time with the battery tester there, there's this top dome, and the result was the battery was a 56% of state of health, and asked to replace the battery. Now the battery is 1 year old from Volkswagen, and we started searching, maybe it's going to be your battery. There is a fault here. Now thinking about it a little bit more, obviously we have the alternator here controlled by lean-bus signal. I believe it's a little bit more intelligent than other alternators. It will obviously change the charge regarding the need of the car. Now we left it sitting for a good 10 minutes, and the car struggled to start. In the same situation here, lights on and the radio on, that's it, 10 minutes, and the car struggled to start. And because obviously before we turned the car off, it was just putting out 12.7, not charging. Then we started the car again, and the alternator kicked in. It started putting out 13.8, and then very quickly went up to 14.1 volts. So say that's all good. So left the car in that situation charging for, I believe it was about 15 minutes, I reckon. 15 minutes. Then stop the car, turn the car off, let it sit for another 20 minutes in the same condition with the lights off, on, and the radio on, the same condition, and the car didn't struggle. So it was double the time, the same condition, the car didn't struggle. So we have a theory here where the alternator is starting to go. Another thing, the alternator was extremely hot when it came. I reckon it was close to 100 degrees when it came in. Now, spoke to the customer. I said, look, this is the situation. I haven't got, let's say, a proof. At the moment, it's probably intermittent. I don't have a proof. This car has about 100 miles on the clock. I can't tell you like 100% that you need an alternator, but I'm quite convinced that your alternator is starting to go, because for a week and a half now it's so sporadic. But you have two options. You can carry on like this and see if the alternator packs up, or you can replace the alternator. So he went ahead and said, look, I wanna replace the alternator for a new one. I don't know if it's gonna fix the car, but I'm 95% sure it will. Everything is there, the lean bus signal, everything else is good. And anyway, I'm gonna let this car sit here for 10 minutes just to see if we're gonna be able to replicate the same condition that we had. I mean, it should be able to sit here for 10 minutes like this and start the car. We'll see. So I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Right, so it's been about 15 minutes. So I have 1194 there. Volts. I just saw a message coming up on the dash. Let's see if I can show you that. It says battery low, something like that. Let's see if I can get your messages. How do we get your message here? There you go, that's a message there. 12 volts, battery low, charged by driving. Let's see if the car's going to struggle to start. Oh yeah, it doesn't want to start. So there you go, 10 minutes. It doesn't want to start. Oh, I just put my battery pack there. Let's see if it's going to start the car. Yeah, it did. Lovely. Now let's see if the alternator kicks in. So now it's charging. 14 volts there. So the same thing that I saw when he brought the car now. I mean, what would do in this situation? I test for battery voltage drop with the case of the alternator. No issues there, no voltage drop there. I can't get to the positive posts because it's so buried in there. So I can't test that. I can only test it by removing it. Now, this is the situation I'm at. I told him, although my top dome battery tester told to replace the battery, I'm thinking he only said replace the battery because the alternator is not charging. And the battery also tested okay when he went to the battery center, which is a really good specialized place. So at that time, I think the alternator was working. So this is the situation. So I told the customer, come make the call, but if you want to go ahead and replace the alternator, I think it's going to fix your problem. So that's what we're going to do. But what would you guys do in this situation? Such a complex system, you know, obviously it is controlled by lean bus there. The signal is there, and you know, it could be in a situation where is a strategy only going to charge when you see a certain state of health in the battery or state of charge in the battery, and would start charging. So it's a tricky one, but we're going to go ahead and replace the alternator. I have replaced the alternators in the past with the Skoda Superb, like remove the bumper, but I did replace one on the Skoda Octavia not long ago, and I did it through underneath here, just some bolts in the AC compressor. So that's what I'm going to do. So we have a special guest today as well. Mr. Lucian's back. Where's the Skoda? Where's the Skoda Superb, mate?
You've sent it away, haven't you?
It's probably
We're moving on to the electric cars, aren't we?
Exactly, exactly. See ya, mate. guys, so this one, this newer model, it doesn't seem to come through here, so I'm gonna remove the dog and bone mount, so I should be able to swing the engine back a little bit. It's just a tiny bit. There you go. Whew. There you go. There you go. Remove the mount here, dog and bone mounts. Perfect. All right, guys. So we have both units here side by side. Looks the same, which is good. I did remove that little post there for the cable, just to get the old one out, and I'll probably do remove this one as well. It's so tight to get it out. But there are two options for this car, 180 amps and 140. So this one is 140, and this one is Lucas remanufactured 140. So that's good. So that's what we have. The pulley seems to be good. Now, another thing that I forgot to mention, when the chap came around just to do some quick checks, I noticed that it was extremely hot, and you can definitely, I wish you guys would be able to smell it, but it smells burnt. So let's see side by side. Yeah, no, definitely the right one. Yeah, so it smells a little bit burnt. The clutch system is working. Like I said, I did check the body of voltage drop on the body, but I couldn't reach the plus post here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and replace it now. You know, those two sleeves here that fits into the bracket, obviously it has to be sort of like out to be able to fit easily. If you can see this one, is out, so it would press on the bracket, which this one is, well, this is in, this is out all the way. Put this way, it's easy to see. So you can see, so it's flush here, and this one is sticking out. Now, I'm gonna leave a video up here for you to check how to obviously push them out safely without breaking the ears here. Many years ago I did break one putting the bolts in and heating it. I'm gonna leave a video here, check it out. It's David Sterling, really great tip. So I'm gonna go ahead, just gonna remove this post here, gonna go ahead, fit it back in. So all done here, guys. First of all, I tried to remove the alternator without removing this tensioner. I just removed the pulley. Yeah, the bolt is not gonna come out. So there's two M10 bolts, one here, one at the top here. Tensioner, obviously lock the tensioner with a pin, and the whole tensioner comes out, gives you more room, and also room for that bolt to be removed. I already showed the bolts here for the compressor. So one here, there's one at the top there, and the other one is just above the connector here. Yes, that's the other one. The alternator, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you but anyway, there's a post terminal. You saw the 13 mil nuts there for plus terminal, and then a connector, and that post just hold the cable loom. Everything is back together. Yeah, let's go ahead and reconnect the battery terminal here. And that should be it, really. Right, so just hook the multimeter there, 12.5, all good. I've finished, and I put the dog and bone mount bolts back in. Everything is back together apart from the engine tray and the wing underliner there. Start the car, let's see if it's gonna charge. Few errors there because obviously we had the battery off. But let's have a look. Alright, 13.6 straight away. See if that keeps going up. I'd like to see at least about 14. The other alternator I was getting 14.1. That was the maximum I saw it charging. I don't know if this one's gonna stop there, or 14.4 would be ultimate, really. It's nearly there. Going up slowly now, but I'm happy with it. It's gonna accelerate to see if that change anything. It wouldn't change. I accelerated before. I had the guy here accelerated before. It would have no change whatsoever. I can't see the multimeter. Oh yeah, accelerating goes up to 14.4. Yeah, 14.45. It was definitely not doing that with the other alternator. It wouldn't go up at all. Let's put the lights on. Put some load. I put the blower on and everything else. Still 14.3. 14.4, and I've got everything on now at the minute. Headlights on, blower on. I think it's gonna fix this car. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna put all the cover back in, and I'll do another few tests. I'll start the car a few times. You know, the guy is gonna pick up the car in an hour, so I can at least, you know, let it rest and start, you know, 5-6 times and see if it doesn't fail, and I'll let you know in a bit. Alright, so I tested a few times, can't charge it every single time. Probably about 6 times I've tested. I've got the owner of the car here now, and we're going to start the car, so go ahead. And straight away start increasing. 13.5. Slowly increasing. So it's pretty much what I've seen, and this car never used to go over 14.1, and when he had the problem it was stuck 12.7. So it seems to be operating out fine. So, can you accelerate a little bit? And again, when I accelerated it, was no change before. So I'm pretty confident. That's okay. Pretty confident it's gonna work. So let's hook that up. Close the bonnet. Alright, torque the wheel, good to go. Thank you very much. You can go that way, there's nothing there now, and then go that way, okay? Little bit of extra footage here, guys, so this is interesting now. So he was about to leave and I thought, do you know what? Still like unsure. I'm pretty confident it's going to fix the car, but still unsure if it could be the battery. I mean, unlikely, it's only a year old. But I did the same test and it said replace battery. 57% of health, and it was probably about 450, 500 amp at the time. I just test the battery again. Obviously the alternator is doing these jobs now, and look at that, 100%, 850 is rated for 700. So let me see, I don't know if I can access the memory. I don't know how to do it. Review data. I thought we had a memory here. No, I don't know how to Yeah, probably only because the last car that you tested it, which is a bummer. But I can guarantee the last time it was 50 something percent.
59. It was 59% the battery health. 59.
And they said replace battery. Remember
Yes,
that
yes.
in red.
Yeah.
So interesting now that, yeah, it makes you think that it's definitely the alternator just not charging the battery properly. You know. So again, good battery. Yeah. So it's totally different results that we had the last time. So now with the alternator charging, for this time that I started, start, you know, all the time, obviously the alternator is charging the battery properly. The battery is back to good health. Right guys, so been about 3 days now. I haven't had a call from the customer. I just sent him a text now, had no reply, so I'm expecting to be all good. The car's fixed. I don't normally like to post videos like this where you can't see any testing, but as you can probably imagine, I was working in a different car at the time and he popped by just for me to check a few things. And when I noticed the car wasn't charging, I just test the signal, voltage drop test to the bottom of the alternator, and the guy's working. And as you can probably imagine, I can't ask to, hold on a minute mate, let me get my camera to film this. But, you know, in an attempt to put more videos out, I'm trying to put video on Monday and one on Friday. I will post this video, at least you can get an insight to what goes on in the garage and at least myself, the decisions I have to make sometimes. You know, I was straight up with the customer, said, look, I can't call this one yet. You know, I can see that sometimes one point the car wasn't charging, the alternator wasn't charging, and the next minute the car was, you know, I'm going to let it sit. This car is a bit more complex, there's a strategy there, but I can't call this one. If it wasn't charging all the time, it would be a pretty easy call, but you're more than welcome to get a second opinion. I believe the alternator is starting to fail, but ultimately it's your decision. You can wait or you can go ahead and replace it. So that's the route that he took, you know, being a taxi, just want to get things replaced so you're not on the side of the road. Now, well, I'm curious to hear your guys' opinion. What would you do in this sort of situation? You know, I think it's pretty tricky, but I think we had plenty signs. You know, the alternator getting super hot. I believe it was 100 or above 100 degrees. I couldn't keep my hand on the alternator, and also when we took it out, the smell. The voltage 14.4 that we got with the new one. The old one was never getting above, it was struggling to get 14.1. So yeah, plenty of signs, but I'm curious to know your opinion, to hear what you guys would do. I know there's plenty guys that works on cars here. What would you do in this sort of situation when a system is not like failed yet, but you know, I guess if it was a normal customer, he probably could wait, but because it's a taxi, you just want to go ahead and get things replaced straight away. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. If you have any comments, just leave it below. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.